I'm Aaron Durst. I'm director of the School of Art and Design here, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our school and to the Furlong Gallery. We are here to celebrate the life, the work of Bill Wikrent through his photography. And to that end, we've got a couple guest speakers for you today, an opportunity to view some of his works here in our beautiful gallery, and just to socialize. Everybody that knew Bill was touched by him and able to enjoy his work and his life that he shared with us. I do have one story, just a very brief story to share with you. Before I became the director here, I was a band director. And Bill, in my first few years here as band director, Bill would come and photograph the band whenever we had a concert. And there was one time, I always loved Bill because he always had fun at what he did. And he would always use these fun little voices with the band, to get them to smile and just enjoy that picture-taking process. But we were over in Menominee High School performing in the auditorium, and Bill he couldn't get the right angle for the band to get everybody on the stage. And so we found a custodian, and we were able to get up in this closet in the rafters where they had hung the lights for the theaters, and he had to fight off like 20 dust bunnies to get up there. But he finally was able to get into one of the spots and get his camera in there and take some just really great photographs of the band from almost directly above him. But it was just kind of that speaks to his dedication to get that good shot and to make photography fun. And it's something I always remember my interactions with him here on the campus. With that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Dave Beck. Dave Beck is a professor of game design here on campus. He's also a former director of the School of Art and Design, and he kind of was very instrumental in getting this project going, and we'd like to invite him to share a few words. So, Dave Beck.
Thanks, Aaron. Welcome, everybody, to Stout, to the gallery, to the School of Art and Design. Really excited about today. So when I was first contacted by Renee a couple of years ago regarding an invitation to consider some of Bill Wikrent's old photography equipment as a donation to UW-Stout, two distinct memories about Bill immediately popped into my mind, both of which I'd like to briefly share with you. I initially interacted with Bill during the first week of my time at Stout in the fall of 2011, where Bill, a quiet, unassuming man, was standing on top of a 20-foot tall ladder, trying to take a picture of all the employees in our college, all who were crammed into seats in the Applied Arts 210 lecture hall. Now, just like Aaron said, normally a photographer would take the picture and be done with it. But Bill knew that the key to a good photograph was making people smile. Over the course of the next 20 rapid-fire shots, I witnessed Bill's face contort into various humorous-looking configurations, ending with a grand finale of him donning a pair of those classic Groucho Marx glasses. When he was done, everyone in the room was smiling. Now, in addition to the portraits of people, Bill contributed to the future careers of many of our students here at Stout, as he provided an amazing service to the School of Art and Design, as well as other visual disciplines on campus. He documented the creative work they made over the course of the semester for their own professional portfolios. This act of kindness, this was not part of Bill's job description. This act of kindness by Bill was so impactful to us that after he left the university, we established a dedicated staff position and entire studio space to carry on that very same practice that Bill originally established. First carried forward by the late Andrew McIntosh and now by Matt Wasaki. Now, I was looking forward to sharing these memories with Renee when she invited me, thanks to a connection made by Nagesh, as well as a few other faculty and staff. She invited us into her home in the fall of 2023 to evaluate some of Bill's old photography equipment for the potential donation, like I had mentioned. What we found in the basement, his home photography studio, was a treasure trove of wonderful equipment that could be used by our students in both photography and video areas here at UW-Stout. Renee's generous and warm personality, which was in typical form that day, she toured us through the basement belongings, recalling memories and stories of Bill and his interactions with the students and faculty at UW-Stout. But what I was not expecting when I went to Renee's house was what Renee showed us when we went upstairs to her living room. There, on the room's prominent, expansive wall, was Renee's own personal tribute to Bill, a salon-style exhibition of Bill's photography hung on the wall. Each one a framed piece representing a different facet of who Bill was as a person. Immediately upon seeing this, I knew we couldn't just let Bill's legacy end with just the generous donation that we had discovered downstairs. We needed to celebrate Bill that Renee and so many of us here at Stout had gotten to know over the years, so that we can be reminded once again that even in times of loss, hardship, uncertainty, a little beauty, and perhaps, maybe, just a dash of that humor can go a long way. Thank you, Renee, for sharing your Bill with us here today.
Thanks, Dave. And now I'd like to invite to the podium Don Steffen, University Editor from Stout Campus. Welcome, Don.
Thank you. I see a lot of friendly faces, so I'm feeling a little more comfortable now. I got a little nervous. I came down Saturday and spent about half hour, 40 minutes in the gallery, just really enjoying work that I hadn't seen before, a lot of it. I worked with Bill I worked at Stout for 38 years in what was originally University Relations, later University Communications, the PR department. And my job was a publications editor, and at that time there was no marketing department. It was me and all my friends over at the LTS area, the creative people over there, figuring out how to do this job. I met Bill shortly after he started working with Marty, and that began an almost 30-year collaboration. Going through the gallery just brought many, many memories back. These are totally unorganized, and I apologize for that, but now that I'm retired, I don't have to be organized anymore. We have a few things in common. We both got the photo bug when we were kids. I was 8 years old when my dad, who was a journalist, taught me how to take my own pictures and develop film. Bill got his first camera as a kid. I think a neighbor introduced him to it. The other thing we had in common, we were both Stouties. I got my industrial education degree here in '81. Bill has, I think, an IT degree. He also got a master's degree here. He was one of my best teachers. I was sort of a purist about photography. I was a film guy, and Bill's the one who gently pulled me into the digital world. I'm kind of struggling here. Let's see. I got to get back to the work we did together, and that was for the 27 years he was here. I produced publications for our admissions department. One of the key roles I had was helping the admissions department get students here. And there's a truism in university publications that the narrative is for mom and dad. All the writing, all the facts, all the costs, all those things. The pictures are the things that grab the students. And for us at Stout, we always felt if we could get you on campus, we could get you. And almost everything that I produced included images from Bill and Marty and the other talented people over there. And I really credit our success all those years in meeting our enrollment goals to having those strong images and just pulling people here. I have a bias because of my journalism background. My father was a journalist. I did not like posed pictures. I don't think you should fake it. I like a candid picture. I like natural light. Bill and I often had to, just because of the nature of the assignment, we had to set up things. And Bill had this talent. He would come back with a set of photos, and I'd say, oh, well, you just didn't have to do that. And he goes, no, take a close look. And I'd look at the contact sheets and then later through the full set of digital. They were posed, but Bill had put them so at ease that they forgot he was there. And they just started to act naturally, which is a great thing. Let's see. He's described as shy. I'm not really sure of that. He's shy only for a little while, because once you get to know him, you're in. You've got a friend for life. I even remarked to Bob, I thought maybe it was a strategy to pull people out of their shell. Most of you, if you're like me, one of the most awkward things in the world, other than speaking to a group, is getting your photograph taken. The modern generation doesn't have that. They're the most documented generation ever. But back in the 80s and 70s and 90s when I was working here, kids, as soon as that camera came out, and Bill could just draw them out and get them to the task at hand, and then capture that in a way that could tell Stout's story, and that's how we got them here. If you look at the slideshow in there, you'll hear a bunch of commonalities that go through people's comments. Shy, genuine. I never heard an unkind word about another person out of that man's mouth, and that's in higher ed, that's saying something. There are, a lot of people with egos, a lot of difficult people, and I don't think Bill ever found anybody difficult. We had a long-term chancellor here who was an uncomfortable speaker. He very brilliant man and a great leader for Stout, but up on the stage, he was difficult to photograph. He was nervous, and Bill always got good shots of him. Always eager to help people. A leader, and I think this is part of the department, but Bill himself, I mentioned digital photography. I didn't want anything to do with digital photography, but he introduced me to it, and his enthusiasm drew me in. He and Marty set up a digital asset management system, a photo database. We did this long before our colleague schools did it, and one of my favorite stories about that is when we converted that first system into the new system. This is after Bill had left and retired. Everything merged over, and then you do searches, and a lot of the early data that went in there didn't have keywords and that sort of thing. One of Bill's real talents was in the studio. He was perfectionist about lighting so that everything looked great and natural. Bill often, in setting up the lighting, would be his own subject, so he kind of perfected the art of the selfie long before there were digital phone cameras. And a lot of times, that shot would go up into the database along with other things. So years after Bill had retired, I'd be searching for something else, and one of these goofy shots would come up and just make my day, and sometimes I really needed that. And I hope those shots are still in there. He was a great teacher. I think, that would have been a great role for him if he didn't love what he was doing otherwise so much, because you'd walk into I always like to stop by the studio on the way back from a meeting with a dean or a program director while the idea was still fresh in my head, and I'd come in and he'd be there with a bunch of students or a faculty member that needed to learn some technology that was beyond them, and one of the most patient guys in the world. Even teaching me, I always gave him the freedom to give me trouble, but he never condescended to me. He never let me know, like, you're kind of dense here, Don. He was very, very gentle. I have a couple favorite images. If you were to look into our archive of publications, there's a night shot of Bowman Hall. Now, Bowman Hall has been here since 1897. It's the most iconic building on campus and in town and probably in the area. It's been photographed thousands of times, and Bill Stout would find fresh ways to shoot it. And one of my favorite shots of his is a night shot, but it was before the clock light was replaced, and so it was the old warm color, very dark blue sky, but there was still detail in the shadow area. Well, that's a tough thing. You could make out the bricks and the color of the bricks. It's just one of my favorite shots. And we almost overused that. Everybody wanted to use that on every publication. Another is one that we never found a use for. It was He was very good at night photography. He was very good at architectural photography. He was coming back from an assignment one night. It was foggy, late evening, and it's Bowman Hall. You can make it out in the fog, and you can see the clock face. And just to look at the photo, I've been in that situation, so it's like I sort of feel it. And I never found it was a little too moody for any of the projects I was working on. The fun thing I had in this exhibit is this is a lot of his personal work. The stuff we worked on is pretty much a digital history or a visual history of Stout. We had to shoot the same things over and over and over again because students change, faculty changes, technology changed all the time. You can't just pick a photo from 2 years ago because that computer is just too boxy looking, or we have this cutting edge piece of technology that came in. And to keep that fresh, you have to be a pretty talented person. It's hard to do the same thing over and over and capture it as if it was new, and he was great at that. Let's see. I think that's about it. I think the other thing is he was willing, this will probably be a good way to end it. He was willing to go way above and beyond his job. One of the things, there's a lot of events at a university like this, and some of them are official and some of them are important. And a lot of them are important just to a small group. Retirements, a promotion, these little receptions all over the place. And Bill was always happy to show up and take it. There was no use for those photographers other than that small group of people, but he was always willing to go and document it. That was a problem after he retired because people came to expect it and desire it. And there was a reorganization, as there are every few minutes here at the university, and the photographer that replaced him, and I don't mean that it was possible to replace Bill, but we got a photographer who came from a Pulitzer Prize winning staff. He was an awesome photographer, but everybody wanted him to be Bill. and it's like, oh, we have this, and can Brett come? And we're not going to fund that. We don't have the, but that really was a thing that really said how much a part of this community and a much part of this university that Bill was, that everybody wanted Bill. I spent almost 40 minutes in here this weekend, and it was just an awesome experience. Sometimes you look at some of these photos, you can almost smell the nature, you can hear the water. I even told Bob, I said, if a few of these go missing, you probably should look at my house first. But I hope you'll take time to go in and spend as much time, come back, because you'll want to spend time. And I see a lot of Bill's old colleagues from the LTS. That was probably one of the most fun departments to work in, I think, because, you're all here. That explains everything. But keep your ears open if you hadn't known Bill, because you'll probably hear a lot of great Bill stories here today. So thank you for this opportunity.
That is just about going to wrap things up for us. Before we get to our final event here as part of our presentation, I'd like to thank a few folks, Dave and Don, for speaking today. I'd also like to thank Bob Atwell and Hannah Phelps for all the work in putting the show together in the gallery, framing, printing, and hanging it. It's a beautiful presentation. And if you haven't had the chance yet, please walk through. Make sure you enjoy the work, share some stories about Bill, interact with each other. And that's a beautiful thing. It brings us together viewing this artwork. I also like to thank Tracy Goff for bringing us together, doing a lot of the coordinating for us. And then finally, I'd like to thank Renee for sharing Bill's work with us so that we can view it here today and just celebrate his memory and the work that he did. I would also like to announce that there will be a plaque that's going to be hung outside of room 123. As things go, it is not quite done yet. This is the official university plaque. However, we have something else that we'd like to present for you. This is going to be hung inside the room. It's something that I think is very personal, that Renee has kind of came up with and is going to share with us. It's going to, I like to think of it as going to overlook what goes on inside of this room and kind of watch over the photographic process that Bill was such a big part of here on campus. It's going to be room 123, just through the doors here and down to the left. So if you're ever in the building, I hope you'll be able to stop by and see that sometime. A lot of work that goes on in that room, yeah. So
If I may, I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who came in today. You will never know what this means to you. I'm deeply, deeply touched. And I just know beyond a shadow of a doubt how pleased Bill would be. However, I think most of you who knew Bill would know that he's probably also cringing at the same time because it was never about him, right? And he never drew attention to himself or to his talents or anything like that. So to have a huge celebration in his honor probably would have overwhelmed him. But at the core of him, he would have been deeply touched by your friendship, by your love, by you being here. So thank you so much. All right, please help me.
let's do it.
He suggested that I be very careful so we didn't hit him.
There we go. Oh, yes. Get over here, Red. Read it. With a click of his camera, Bill captured the essential humanity and vibrant history of students, faculty, and staff, always showing kindness, humor, and endless generosity to all he serves. For his 27 years of service as a media technology specialist at UW-Stout. Thank you all for being here. Please enjoy the artwork, enjoy some fabulous food, enjoy each other's company.